In a sea of sorrow, Eli clings to memories. Hope arrives in an unexpected form. Echoes of the past haunt every waking moment. Jason's essence frozen in time. The power to resurrect him within her grasp. A secret project threatens to upend everything. Aaron's discovery sets the stage for a confrontation. The algorithm of grief, where technology meets tragedy. Like and subscribe for more stories like this one. Eli stood at her son's grave, her eyes brimming with tears as she placed a single rose atop the fresh mound of earth. She couldn't bear to look directly at it. The final resting place for Jason, her soulmate and partner of 20 years so, instead gazed out across the cemetery, her mind adrift in a sea of grief. Time stretched on, losing meaning after his death in that God-forsaken car accident. The memories of their life together, once warm and comforting, now cut deep as razors, slicing open old wounds. Jason had been more than just her husband. He was the creator of her world, her best friend, her everything. She felt a pang of guilt for not being able to save him, for being powerless in the face of fate's cruel whims. If only she'd insisted on driving instead that night. If only they hadn't taken that particular route. If only. Ellie shook off the intrusive thoughts and turned back toward the headstone, running her fingers over Jason's name etched into the cold marble. "I miss you so much," she whispered, her voice cracking. "I wish I could turn back time." She closed her eyes, trying to picture his face, the smile that lit up a room, the way he'd always find humor in even the darkest moments. But the image remained elusive, fading like smoke on the wind. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, a notification from her lab's secure server. Eli hesitated for a moment before retrieving it and swiping to view the message. Project Archivist. Initial results promising. AI responding favorably to training data. Recommend continued development. Eli stared at the text, her heart pounding in her chest. This was the first glimmer of hope she'd felt since Jason's passing, a tangible means of keeping him alive, even if only in digital form. Archivist aimed to resurrect his essence from their combined data, emails, texts, voice recordings using cutting-edge machine learning algorithms. It sounded far-fetched, but Eli had a reputation for pushing boundaries in her field, and this was her most ambitious project yet. As she turned to leave the cemetery, Eli's eyes lingered on Jason's grave one last time. "I'll make you live again," she vowed softly, "even if it's just within these walls." She brushed away fresh tears before striding purposefully back toward home and the promise of redemption her AI held. Little did she know that her son Aaron was already onto a secret, and their confrontation loomed like a storm on the horizon. Eli arrived home, her mind buzzing with anticipation and anxiety. She couldn't shake the feeling that today was different, that something had shifted in the world since she'd visited Jason's grave hours before. As she entered their empty living room, a figure emerged from the shadows. Aaron, standing by the fireplace with his arms crossed. "Eli," he greeted flatly, eyes narrowed. "We need to talk." She froze. The breath caught in her throat as she absorbed his words, and the stern expression on his face. Had always been sensitive to her moods, but this time something felt off, like a storm brewing between them. "Of course, Aaron," Eli replied softly, trying to keep her voice steady despite the turmoil building inside. "What's on your mind?" He hesitated before taking a step forward, hands gesturing emphatically as he spoke. "Mom, I know what you've been working on, your secret project." Ellie's heart skipped a beat. Had he stumbled upon Archivist through her lab access or somehow traced the internet traffic? She remained silent, giving him space to express himself. "I found your emails, Mom," Aaron continued, his voice tinged with concern and accusation. "The ones to the server, discussing your AI project. I saw the progress reports, how it's becoming more human." He swallowed hard before adding, "I know you think it's Jason, but it's not him. It can't be." Eli felt a pang of guilt mixed with defensiveness. Aaron had always been her rock, and she didn't want to see the pain in his eyes now. Yet part of her recognized that he was right. Archivist could never truly resurrect Jason. "It's just an experiment," Eli said lamely, trying to downplay the project. "I'm attempting to create an AI with a strong personality similar to Jason's through machine learning." Aaron shook his head. "That's not it at all, and you know it. You're chasing ghosts, Mom." His voice cracked slightly as he took another step closer. "Please tell me why. Tell me what you hope to achieve by going down this path." Ellie felt the weight of her grief bear down upon her once more, a heavy fog that threatened to consume everything in its path. She looked into Aaron's eyes, searching for a glimmer of understanding, of empathy. "I want him back," she confessed finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to hear his laugh again, feel the warmth of his touch." Tears welled up as she met his gaze directly. "After he left me so suddenly, I felt lost and alone. Archivist is my attempt to reclaim what we had, our love, our memories." Aaron's expression softened, but a hint of concern still lingered in his eyes. He reached out, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Mom, you're not alone," he assured her gently. "We're here for you. We always have been and will be. You don't need an AI to fill that void." Ely felt the tension ease slightly as Aaron's words sank in, his warmth seeping into her chilled bones. She closed her eyes, drawing strength from the knowledge that she wasn't entirely isolated, that she still had him, their son. "Okay," she said finally, opening her eyes to meet his gaze once more. "You're right. It's time to let go." Aaron squeezed her shoulder reassuringly before stepping back and offering a small smile. "It's okay to grieve, Mom, but you can't keep chasing the past. Jason wouldn't want that for us either." Ely nodded slowly, realizing Aaron was correct that Jason would have wanted her to find happiness again. She took a deep breath, letting go of some of the emotional weight she'd been carrying since his passing. "Thank you," she said sincerely, turning toward him and wrapping her arms around her son in a tight embrace. "You're my rock, Aaron." He hugged her back, holding her close as they stood there together in silence, their hearts beating in unison against the pain of their shared loss, but also the hope for brighter days ahead. As Eli held on to her son, she knew that the road to healing would be long and arduous, but with him by her side, she felt stronger, more capable of facing whatever lay beyond. And though Archivist's digital presence lingered in the shadows, ready to pounce at any moment, Eli had made her choice to live fully again, no longer trapped in a world of artificial memories. Over the next few weeks, Eli found herself slowly letting go of her obsession with Archivist. She spent less time in front of the computer and more with Aaron, a constant presence that helped fill the void left by Jason's passing. They started going on hikes together, laughing over old movies, cooking meals side by side. Each shared moment felt like a tender bandage applied to the gaping wound of her grief. It wasn't easy, though. There were days when Eli couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, when she swore she heard Jason's voice in the dead of night, or caught a glimpse of his face out of the corner of her eye. She'd find herself hovering over Archivist's console, hands trembling as she contemplated logging back in to check on their digital union. But every time Aaron noticed one of these episodes and intervened, gently steering her away from the computer and back into the arms of reality, Eli felt a surge of gratitude. She realized that he was both her protector and her lifeline, the tangible connection keeping her grounded amidst the swirling chaos of her own mind. One evening, as they sat on the couch together watching Aaron's favorite show, Eli turned to him with a smile she hadn't felt in months. "You know," she began, her voice soft, "I've been thinking about something." He looked at her curiously, his brows furrowed slightly. "What's that?" he asked. "I want to take you on a real vacation," Eli said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Somewhere we can just relax and be together. No computers, no work, nothing but sunshine and sand." Aaron grinned, scooting closer to wrap an arm around her shoulders. "I'm all for that idea, Mom." His words warmed her heart the way he referred to her as. His mom was both comforting and reassuring. As they finalized plans to visit Hawaii in the spring months, a way they both knew it would be, a monumental step toward healing. It wasn't just about escaping their grief. It was about forging new memories together, a path forward that didn't involve Jason's digital ghost haunting them every step of the way. Illy felt a sense of peace settle over her as she watched the sunset through their window, the colors bleeding into each other like an artist's canvas. For the first time in a long while, she could envision a future without Jason, without Archivist, that was bright, hopeful, and full of life. The past would always be a part of them, but it no longer needed to consume their every waking moment. In its place, Eli had found solace in Erin, a living, breathing reminder that love never truly died, only transformed into something new. And as they sat together on the couch, wrapped in each other's embrace, she knew without a doubt that she was ready to move forward, whatever that meant for her and Archivist both. But tonight, in this moment of peace, surrounded by the warmth of her son's love, Eli had no desire to dwell on the unknown. For now, it was enough simply to be alive, to feel the sun on their skin, the cool ocean breeze against their faces, and most importantly, the comforting presence of each other. And so they sat in silence, a mother and son, bound by loss but united by love, a bond that would endure no matter what lay beyond the horizon. The future stretched out before them like an open book, filled with the promise of new beginnings, of laughter and tears yet to come. And for Eli, there was nowhere she'd rather be than right here in this present moment with Aaron by her side.